Superman Escape from Krypton. Quite possibly one of the most insane coaster experiences of my life. Hello everybody and welcome back to Sly Fox Stories, here with my actually first ever YouTube video. I am so excited you're joining me because today I'm going to recount my experiences on what is currently the tallest and fastest coaster in the world, Superman Escape from Krypton. Well, tallest and fastest that's operating. Sadly, King Naka at Great Adventure was recently demolished, and I will be making a video on that in the future because trust me, I've got plenty of memories from that ride too, but today we're going to focus on Superman and we're starting off on a strong foot. This is a crazy shuttle coaster. I remember when I first rode it back in 2016, and at the time I was 11 years old. I was just a little boy, and we were going around at Magic Mountain, and then my dad decided to say, hey, let's go ride Superman. And the entire day I'd been avoiding it because at this time in my life, I was really fond of roller coasters, but at the same time, I was too intimidated to go on the large ones, like the super large ones, like Superman. So we decided to go and ride it, and my dad said that it was something I had to do. We drove all this way, we came to the park, we showed up, and now we have to do their biggest attraction. I was terrified. I think I might have even shed a few tears even, but we did eventually make it up the hill and made it to the Superman entrance, which is pretty much a giant ice fortress. When you walk in, it's pretty hot, but it's also really dark. The wait at the time was around 30 to 45 minutes, and I remember being anxious for every single second of my life in that station waiting for this ride. But sure enough, it came to be my turn and I was in the front row. The door opened and I slowly crept into my seat. I sat down and pulled the restraint. I clicked the seatbelt. Then the operators said, all clear. They shut their gates. I heard a little hissing sound. And before I knew it, they pushed the button that launched us into oblivion. Now, let me tell you, this launch was something I was not expecting. It was insane. 100 miles per hour in 7 seconds, which maybe compared to other coasters at Magic Mountain isn't the fastest acceleration, but believe me, 100 miles per hour of anything is absolutely insane. Now, during those 7 seconds, I remember feeling a sheer sense of terror, a sheer sense of accomplishment, and a bunch of other mixed emotions I couldn't process in that moment. When you are going that fast, the sheer amount of wind in your face is insane. The closest thing I can say that I could compare it to is probably sticking your head out of a car window on the freeway. That's probably the closest experience I can compare this to. And then sure enough, after the 7-second mark, you are surprised by being lifted vertically into the air. There's a part of Superman where it goes from flat to perpendicular to the ground. So you are facing 90 degrees straight down at probably 320 feet in the air, which to say the least is an insane experience when you're 11 years old. By the time it reached the top and we were facing straight down, I realized I could see so much. I could see the highway, I could see the rest of the park. There was so much to see and take in, but unfortunately it only lasted a split second. You're only up there for probably a couple of seconds before you start to fall back down, but it's enough to take in the view and enough to make me feel accomplished enough that, hey, maybe I was enjoying this ride. Then we started falling back down the drop and I started to enjoy my time a little more until suddenly I experienced an intense onslaught of G-forces. Now Superman, I believe, pulls about 4 Gs, so 4 times the force of gravity, and it is sustained for like several seconds. So you will feel those G-forces. You then level back out and you're still going around probably over 90 miles an hour and you feel the wind. It is insane. If you have perfect hair, I wouldn't ride this because trust me, it will get ruined. However, we did make it back as the ride slowed down and we returned to the Superman Ice Fortress Cave, and I felt like an accomplished person and a changed person. But unfortunately, the wait had gotten even longer since I boarded the ride, so we didn't get to do it again that trip, but I made a promise to do it many times in the future. Currently, it is standing but not operating, so I'm really hoping this ride opens sometime in the future again. My last ride on it was with my sister, where I basically relived that same experience with her as she needed to be brave enough to do it, and I decided, you know what, we're gonna ride Superman, and sure enough we did. We even played rock, paper, scissors on our second ride. If you have any Superman memories, be sure to comment them down below, and I can't wait to make more videos in the future. I definitely plan on making them for some of the most insane coasters I've ever experienced, and a King Naka one will sure be out in the future too. Again, thank you guys so much for stopping by. on Sly Fox Stories, and I'll catch you all in my next video. And I'd like to give a quick shout out to TaniDaReal for the incredible bass that I'm using for my OC, because seriously, this is one of the best basses I've ever used in my life. I'll put their Gumroad link in the description and feel free to support them. Well, actually, feel more than just free, I encourage you to.